We have a friend from the Aquarium Society that builds these and does maintenance and stuff, so you can even buy one and not have to even take care of it if you just pay him. Then we get to aroids in the back here and all around, and then carnivorous plants. So on both sides are carnivorous plants.
Oh, my goodness.
They live in distilled water and they don't get any food. Sometimes we'll crumble up fish food flakes and give it to them, especially these guys. But in general, they're getting just distilled water.
How bright are these? Because it looks like they're turning them into beautiful
Yeah, you know,
colors
for a long time we had a single strip of LEDs and they were not happy. They need very bright.
Okay,
this
very
is
bright.
probably 400 or 500 ppfd.
Okay, full spectrum, I'm assuming. Okay.
It's a 4-tube fixture, and that's absolutely what they had to have to start growing colors and or changing colors, and even to be the right shape. They just weren't happy before. So no, very, very much need brighter light for these guys.
Which Hoyas are these in the very bottom here?
Those are Obscura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've not seen them in green form.
I know,
usually
it's just because
sun-stressed.
they're in the shade. There's one over there in a big basket for sale.
Oh, their Polynura definitely doesn't want as much light.
No, they don't. That's why it's between the two lights.
Makes sense.
Every time I get it a little brighter, it starts to bleach out. So this one actually got moved to the shade again recently.
Which one is this one? It seems to like.
Yeah, so that's a hyanensis, or hen hyanensis. It was always smaller until we moved, and now it started to get bigger. So that's another one that really was getting vastly too much sun in our greenhouse. And it sort of feels like it's a trade-off between flowers and pretty leaves. You know, if you grow them shadier, the leaves are absolutely gorgeous, especially with higher humidity. But you get better flowering when they're, you know, bright.
Yeah, makes sense.
Similar to orchids, I think. If you get them on the slightly stressed side where they're a little lighter green, they flower better.
Yeah.
Little arid area again. Calatheas. We kind of tend to try to research everything that comes in and figure out where they live, and then make up a mix that works for them. We do make all the different supplies for stuff, and that's available on the website as well. So, you know, our aroid and hoya mix, and orchid mixes, pumices, tree fern, everything. So hoyas, I mean, there's no real order yet, like other than I'm trying to group them together by kind, but I keep finding areas of things separated.
Your compacted just said, you know, I don't need green leaves. I have too much. I need to have some white leaves too.
Here's the one that's doing what it's supposed to, and it's bloomed 3 times already this season and has buds coming again. And actually, this is several years younger than this. So, I mean, with these, it's not an expensive plant. You're just buying. Do you think this is going to be okay, or do you think this is eventually going to? No, it's not okay, really. I mean, I think it's okay as long as it's attached to this. But the imbalance, if this gets too much longer, I don't know. It's definitely slow, and it's just now putting out its very first little peduncle. So, but it's years slower than that one. So you definitely see the lack of energy. But it was interesting and kind of fun, and every once in a while it does something like that, which is kind of encouraging. So we decided to just leave it for fun.
That's awesome.
And then there's an instant gratification carry eye right here.
Oh my goodness!
And so we just
carry eye.
So the alba marginated one. Yeah. But it's covered in flowers, and
oh my gosh! Do you know yet what the scent is? Have you been able to?
You know, I don't find this one to be particularly describable. It's not a very scented one, but it's generally at night. Sometimes in here it's like overwhelming when you get several of them blooming, and you come in at night. It's like incredible.
Who's blooming right now?
Exactly. Sometimes.
Is this a abovata?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, a splashy one.
It's interesting. Some of it's getting a little puckered, and then you have the nice round ones.
I think they get jealous of the carry eye because they get so much attention, and they're like, I can make hearts too. Sometimes this gets very splashy. And then sometimes not so much. I really am kind of convinced it has to do with light, because, for instance, this guy, which I've never been able to actually identify, you know, in the greenhouse in brighter light, it just looked like something, you know, verticulata or who knows, carnosa.
Yeah, it looks like a Wilbur Graves. Yeah,
isn't
definitely
that gorgeous,
carnosa.
right?
It is.
And so it's just some sort of carnosa. But it just happens. I actually bought it as Vitellina, which is obviously not true.
Right.
And then the flowers look like kind of pubic calyx, like really 2 deep pink red for carnosa.
I mean, it is pretty.
but they're so squat. You know, they're not long like that.
Some of them are getting narrow, and then some of them,
yeah. I mean, side to side, and in big ones, it doesn't look right for a pubic calyx. So it's just sort of a, I don't know, but it's awfully pretty.
It is.
It didn't look like that in bright light though.
Yeah.
So
brighter,
look
and
at that.
Don't want,
So this is Noel.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, that's not even, doesn't look like the same plant.
Yeah.
So that's the difference of the LEDs and the humidity and the control in here versus, but yeah, so there's some giant ones. There's, you know, we try to have little guys. So there's some that aren't so expensive and people that like to start small. Down here, there's not enough light to sun stress too much. And so we try to put a few up high to show. You can see that Rebecca blooming like crazy right now up top there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I see all the peduncles.
And we kind of mapped out the greenhouse with, you know, a light meter before we moved, so we kind of could replicate. But I put all the variegated things up by the lights, and
so your theory is that variegated most likely wants more light.
Well, I feel like there's no question because if they grow into the dark, they'll just turn green.
Right.
So I mean.
And then the splashy sounds like less.
Starting to think so. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, then neither of those is science. Like that's just observation.
Yep.
But I feel like it's pretty obvious with the variegation go away when they're not enough light. But the speckling thing is just totally from watching them and noticing the difference as we've moved. You see things like, you know, crystal right here. And that is really pretty. I feel like that's like the Thai constellation of Hoyas.
Is this your main room or is because I know
we just haven't made it there yet. This was just the first room.
Okay, got it.
There's begonias, a little philodendron-y area with other things in it over there. Some little baby things down here, some seedling anthurium clavinergiums or however that you say that, and some baby white wizards and jacquelines. Some of these probably need a little more time, but these guys are ready. But there's Hoyas everywhere, and then some more little guys. I've been playing around with them on moss poles, but they grow so fast they go right off the top no matter what. So it's they seem to love it, but then what do you do?
Yeah, I feel like they're probably happier with the trellis because then you can just keep wrapping it around.
Well, that's the thing for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a doubled up trellis, and you can just keep going around. But
it's almost like it encourages it to grow more.
Exactly.
Okay, that's gonna be fine.
Then this is sort of the beginnings of an orchid area. Eventually, we'll have a lot more orchids. But I just need to rearrange all the Hoyas. There's more Hoyas there. So there's more stuff on the front there. This is pretty much what makes it possible to have things be happy in the air conditioned in here.
Yeah.
And so it's a big.
How often do you need to refill that little bin?
Once a day.
Okay.
With, you know, about 10 gallons of water.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it does kind of work with some misting.
Okay. We
keep it about 65%, and that's like the happy medium between mold everywhere and too dry. This is the newer space. We're sort of working our way this way. It's our potting area, and then there's a whole bunch more Hoyas all here. And then, over here is sort of chaos still that's getting organized. And then aroids. So there's a lot of anthuriums and philodendrons and a few monsteras and stuff in here. Bunch more giant instant gratification Hoyas. This was just in full bloom, and it will be again shortly. Here's another big Noel showing how different the leaves are. Look at that. Compared to the ones in the greenhouse before we moved. Macrophylla or latifolia. Here's the older leaves. And here's more giant blooming plants that are just between flowers that we've decided we have to try to get rid of for space. Anthurium hybrids species through here. And then there's another room over here. This is all kind of in process still, but we use this as kind of growing space. So this is things that either aren't ready yet or just haven't made it out in the sale area, or they're mother plants. There's Hoyas tucked in all around, and then over here are a lot of the ones that we're growing out that aren't ready yet. Here's the little whisk flowered one we were talking about, Sulpe or Decope. And then some of the silvery ones over here. So like AH74 and Nova Ghost. It's really nice and silvery. So we're working on making more of those as quickly as we can. There's all different ones here that are in process of being propagated and put out there. Little orchids stuck in everywhere too. Here's a Hoya serpens and a little globa ginger. Oh, here's this Aldrichii. Cute little guys, blooming a whole bunch. That was just flowering the Huskliana, and it smells like those like butter, popcorn, jelly beans.
All of these are for sale, or just the
This
ones in
room
the
is
front?
not for sale yet. Yeah, this is things that still need some time to propagate more. I did just put some parvifolia out for sale out there.
Are they from the same family as the one that's hanging from upside down? Are those epiphyllums?
Well, epiphyllums are jungle cactus. That would be like the orchid cactus that make those huge flowers in the spring. But this is actually a true orchid.
Okay.
Then baby staghorn ferns. And then back there is our propagation, like a tissue culture lab, and all our bins under lights to propagate everything. So, and that's pretty much our little world. And then we have a lot of plants still at home to be processed for moving, and those will end up here eventually. But that's pretty much our little car.
Okay. Thanks so much, Jonathan.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for looking around.